I have glossed over a lot of fine points of HTML and CSS on purpose, because we're trying to get through building an entire application and touching on each of these topics so that you can get a sense of them but not necessarily understand them in a rich or deep way. If you need to go deeper to understand these, I have a front-end web development quick start that goes over each of these elements in a bit more detail, and here you can see a link to that. Alternatively, if you really want to understand CSS, there's a CSS in-depth course here in Pluralsight, and here's the URL for that. For really understanding CSS top to bottom, I suggest this CSS in-depth course very highly. So where does that leave us? We've seen how this HTML and CSS basics can help us derive and build from these primitive pieces to create a rich and full web app experience like we want. And the HTML is going to represent the structure of every individual page that we're dealing with. CSS is going to then take that structure and tell the browser how to render it. And then we want to keep these separate so that they're easier to manage. As we get into JavaScript and get into frameworks, especially client-side frameworks, we're going to see that keeping the structure and the CSS separate are going to end up benefiting us greatly. It also allows us to specify things about the way our application looks and feels without having to repeat it on every page. This has been Module 2 of building a web app with ASP.NET 5, Entity Framework 7, Bootstrap, and AngularJS. My name is Sean Wildermuth of Wilderminds. Thanks for joining me.